Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Competitive Speed Series. And, joining me alongside, once again, for yet another round of action. It's round 6, and it is, the lovely circuit of Zandvoort. But alongside me, Domsey has returned once again. Firstly, how are we?
Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. Excited to see this race pan out again. I mean, for me personally, Zandvoort, I haven't really enjoyed the track, but it can be a very good track for racing. Very hard to, of course, manage the tyres through. Loads of like high speed, low speed corners to manage. So quite excited to see this one. How are you, Byron?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing absolutely sensational. Just currently adjusting my mic 'cause it's being a little bit funky for me. But now I've sorted it. I mean, we've got a real good race on our hands tonight, guys. It is round 6 of the championship. We're not racing next week, but then we have Belgium, Qatar, Las Vegas, a mystery GP, Hungary, and Japan to round out our season. And after a brilliant duel in the desert last time out in Bahrain, here is your standings going into the halfway point in our season. ET8 currently lead on 216 points, CPI in second, TTM third, Exeter in fourth, TF10 fifth, Grand Track 10 in sixth, seventh for IRT, Iberia Racing in eighth, and then Avizio Racing in ninth, and Optimum Velocity Racing in 10th place in this championship. But the point gap's small between everyone, so much opportunity for changes, and we're getting towards that halfway point in the season, a bit of a mid-season reset around the corner as well. So going to be interesting to see if there's any changes over that mid-season.
Yes, of course. I mean, ETA have gotten 3 wins in a row, I believe, so far. So quite interested to see how they go to this specific race, but TTM as well. They're in second place, I believe, so they can also go out here and win. Then with CPI, yeah, just excited to see how this pans out. But I am putting my money on ET8 to win once again. TTM can really push for the win though in this track, especially as this is more of like a qualifying based track, I would have to say. So wherever you qualify is most likely whereabouts you're going to finish. So, and we have seen over the course of the season that TTM have been really good in these qualifying sessions. So yeah, just excited to see how the race pans out. Still got a little while to go. I think one driver is still yet to join. I'll tell you who that is. That is one of the ILDs who hasn't joined quite yet. So just have to wait for him.
Yeah, no worries. We're seeing he's just on his way. Philly for ILD is just having to restart his game. Wasn't being able to get into the lobby, so we're just waiting for one car until we'll get that qualifying session underway. But just as a reminder of where we're heading to tonight, it is the circuit of Zandvoort. I mean, it is a beautiful circuit. 14 turns, 2.6 miles. I mean, what a circuit. It's going to be great to see what it is like when we get properly underway, but we aren't that far away from that all-important start of qualifying. As I said, waiting for one more, Philly is not going to join us for the start of qualifying. He is going to try and join us halfway through, but as everyone begins to ready up and get ready for this qualifying session, you got to really wonder if anyone can challenge ET8 tonight, because they have just looked that good.
Yeah, of course. ETA opting for Lifeboot and Sergio Lee 35 for this race. I don't think they're, no offense, their best drivers. Well, not as good as Renz, Tomassen, or Azam, I think, was in last week. TTM have also got a really strong lineup. Same with GT10 and Aversio. So, as I've said in the previous two races, Aversio really needs one of these races to get back into the championship fight, as they haven't had the best of seasons as of so far. We are now going to the lobby finally. I think the ILD driver who hasn't joined will join in the middle of the session, but yeah, just excited to see how this pans out. Who do you think will take pole position, Byron?
I mean, it is always so incredibly difficult to know. I have not got a Scooby as to who could take pole. You know, it is anyone's guess when it comes to, well, competitive speed series and just everything in regards to the wonderful realm of F1 and sim racing. And, well, qualifying is getting underway now. Well, let's take you trackside, and this is the scene in Zandvoort, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the result is come the checkered flag of this qualifying session, because there's all 2019 cars at the moment will hit the track. It's looking a little on the overcast side. I wonder if it's due to rain.
I mean, you never know in this game. Cloudy conditions are either cloudy or it can be really rainy, but you can see all the drivers pushing as fast as possible to get out onto the track. There is obviously a lobby restart, so getting as many... there's no risk in using up all your tyres, so just try and get as many runs in as possible. But yeah, basically every single driver is out on track currently, and that is led by, I believe, wait, give me a minute, let me just find out who it is. Lifeboot for the ET8 team, who is just going round the final chicane, and in the third sector here, he will be going around the final braking zone where you only have to lift here, and opens the DRS here, which is the only DRS straight on the Formula 1 calendar, which is on a bend. He does start his lap now currently, going into the first corner here, brake around the 50-meter as late as possible, try not to lock up, as unfortunately Lifeboot did lock up the front left. But here, flat out, you can go through it and take as far as much of the inside as possible. In real life, you obviously need to take the outside to get as much grip as possible. We've also got some other drivers out on laps. Enzo just coming out of that third corner. And yeah, so just loads of drivers already out on laps currently. That including both CPIs, IRTs, just basically everyone out on lap apart from one ILD driver of Claudio, who is just going around the final corner. And the other ILD driver has not quite joined the session yet, so it looks like we'll be racing with 19 tonight.
Yeah,
So,
maybe indeed.
still,
noticing that we're about to get our first lap time posted to the board. Lifebout up to the line now. What will it be for him as he does set the benchmark timer? 108.425. Can anyone beat it? Well, you'd certainly be interested to see as OVR Lolo's comes up to the line and can't beat it. Neither could IRT. Fleddy Enzo does not set his lap time. Really interesting to see that lap time from Lifebout holding up quite well to begin with, as OVR Lucas finds himself behind Aroka there. Up to the line he goes and only goes 10th place for OVR Lucas. Ghost King, who was one of the many standout performances of last round, can't manage anything better than last at the moment. Clearly didn't get a good lap time together. Jerome for, well, what isn't WR anymore? I keep stumbling over that every time I see it. Can only manage 12th place, as, well, first runs are pretty much done as soon as they started. IRT Claudio only 16th there. And not a great start for ILD there, with only 16th as the offering there from one of their drivers, and the other one's not even in the lobby.
Yeah, of course. Brilliant lap for Lifeboat, getting first place by a tenth of a second, followed by, I believe that's Team Exosia in the Aston Martin in this series. Then both CPIs of Erpek and Rick Gambe in third and fourth, as Ghost King takes fifth, as I was about to say that Fleddy's in fifth, but now he's been demoted down to sixth. Lifeboat's teammate Sergio Lee is in seventh position. Basically, all the drivers are going back into the pits to get on fresh tyres and go up for their second runs in qualifying.
Absolutely, really interesting to see how quickly the laps do come at you here. I mean, it just really is quite insane, just quite how quickly they do get thrown your way. By the time you've started a lap, you know, it's pretty much done. So it'll be really interesting to see quite how quickly these cars flood out the pit lane. And the answer in the case of TTM Enzo is very quickly. He darted in, immediately changed tyres, back out onto the circuit, and trying his hand again.
Yeah, of course. We've already got some of the drivers going out on laps. Enzo on who's just started his flying lap. He didn't get to set a lap on his first run like everybody else did. Mathis as well, I believe, is on a lap, or that could be his own lap. I'm not sure. But yeah, drivers going out onto their second runs now on their second fresh softs, maybe even old softs. You never know. But yeah, still. Lots to go in this qualifying session. It can go either way. So, Byron, who do you predict will get pole position at this current time?
Oh, it's really difficult to even have a little stab in the dark at it. I'm gonna go with the man currently top, Lifebout. I think he's got it in him to keep that, and I don't see why he wouldn't be able to keep it. But you know, I've been wrong many a times, and I'm sure I'll be wrong again.
Yeah, of course. Loads, basically the entire grid out on outlaps once again. Mathis does go into the pits as I say that though. There's only two drivers out into the pits. Enzo is, for the TTM, has invalidated unfortunately, so he will not be setting a lap just yet. Might go for another outlap and go for another fast lap, not sure though. Ovio Loco, I think, has gone on a lap as well. Same with Mustache, both going through turn one as we speak. Fleddy as well has just started a lap, and Lifeboat as well. So still 11 minutes left in this qualifying session. So anything can change. Still loads of drivers on their outlaps, but now they're all starting their flying laps. Yeah. Who's currently first out of the drivers? I can't fully tell right now. But yeah, still lots to go in this qualifying session, so I'm excited to see how the grid turns out.
Absolutely, will be really interesting to see. We got a lot of time between now and well, the end of this race, and it'll be really interesting to see what we're going to have come the end of it. As well, Lifebout isn't improving on his lap, 3/10 down. Unfortunately for him at the moment, Erpek, as he goes through the second sector, isn't improving much either. So it seems like a lot of drivers really struggling on their second runs as Mustache goes up to third, Enzo up to second as well. So some real big improvements here, but not for those who are already towards the top of the timing tower. So really interesting to see that and how things maybe aren't quite panning out fully for all of those who might have wanted it. Wow, not exactly working the way that Lifebout would have wanted, not improving on a run that really, the second run, he would have wanted to make an improvement.
Yeah, of course, he goes back into the pits. Rick Gambe goes provisional pole position with a 108.4, which is only 10 hundredths of a second faster than Lifeboat. Enzo's on his in lap. I think all the drivers now are on their in laps, maybe apart from Mustache, who looks to be pushing through this chicane here, going into the final real corner here. Shift down by one, open the DRS as soon as the exit comes. Go around this banked corner as he, never mind, goes into the pit lane. So that will not be a completed lap. He does actually spin in the pits and loses his end plate on his front wing. So
Yeah,
yes.
IRT Fleddy up to the line now. Well, IRT have not had the best of luck in this season. 2 green sectors for IRT Fleddy. What can this do for him? Takes him to third. That's an improvement. And will sorely be loved by that team because they've really struggled to extract a lot of pace out of the car. And that is a real good sign for them in this qualifying session to go third at the moment. And well, as now everyone peels into the pit lane once again. 8.5 minutes left on the clock. We've had 10 minutes of this qualifying session. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like we've had enough runs for the entire session just because on how quickly they're in, out, and they might as well be shaking it all about, if I'm quite perfectly honest, because they are having a really interesting time at the moment as things stand. But already more cars out onto the track as Sergioli in 13th out of the pit lane, Erpek, Namsco, Lifebout, and Raphael all the way down in 19th for TF10 at the moment. Really interesting to see as Lifebout begins a hot lap here, and this is going to be really interesting to see what ET8 can do to respond to Rick Gamba, who currently sits top of the timing sheet by only 12 hundredths of a second, and that is not much in terms of margin, but in the world of sim racing, it does make a big load of difference. But as we go through Sector 1, it's an improvement in Sector 1. It's a purple Sector 1 for Lifebout as now we barrel through Sector number 2. Some technical corners here. It's really tricky. It's really tight. It's really difficult in this portion of the lap. But if he masters it, if he takes it nice and easy through here, he will be rewarded with lap time in abundance as now we go to the Sector 2 timing line. He's still improving by an ever so small margin, but he doesn't need much to go back to the top of the timesheets as now Sector 3 is the next challenge for Lifebout as we head round the final bend. We won't need to brake anymore from here. DRS wide open as we head through the final corner here. Turn 14 up to the line. Can he go back to the top? He can go back to the top by 1,000th of a second. Lifebout back on top, but it is very tight at the top.
Yeah, Rick Gambe is going to the end of his outlap, as I actually say that. Namsko also trying to fight to take that provisional pole as well. He's not on a fast lap, never mind. Moustache as well, he's apparently 2/10 up according to the lap data thing. He is a 10th down, in fact. But Rick Gambe has started his lap. He's trying to fight back to get back into provisional pole. Goes through turn 1 nice and quick through there. Uses as much of that exit as possible. Here is pretty much flat out and little downshift through here. Make sure to get on the power as early as possible. Going through the Sector 1 split. Where will that be? Will that be purple Sector 1? It's slightly slower. It's 17 hundredths down on his previous lap, but with such small margins, he can definitely gain that back within the rest of the lap. Still loads of corners to go. We're going into this DRS straight, actually. Opening the DRS nice and wide, using as much of his ERS as possible. Going to the Sector 2 split, it's still slightly down. Still to play for in this final chicane. Now going into the final corner here. Make sure not to go too wide or else you're in the gravel. But now going, no need for braking anymore. DRS is wide open, going through this banked corner. Take as much of that apex as possible. Go to the inside as much as possible. Is that an improvement? Yes, it is. It's an 08.406 for the CPI driver. Ghost King is also 3rd place. He's on a fast lap as well. Enzo as well, I think, is on a fast lap. I'm not fully sure. And same with Leddy.
Yeah, Enzo is not improving in Sector 1. In fact, there's not many improvements across the entire timing board through Sector 1 at the moment. It looks like it's been a real difficult third run for most of the field. Very few improvements here, just keeping an eye on it. Looks like maybe Devin Charoux, who's currently down in 19th, would improve. He only goes up 1 place, though, so he's not really gained much. Ghost King up to 3rd, though. That's not a bad lap time for him, and really shows some good pace, which we saw last time out in Bahrain. Could this be a sign of things to come for GT10? And, well, the real competitiveness that we've seen over the last couple of rounds, but Currently, as things stand, no real improvement from anyone on this third run. It does seem like the track conditions aren't improving a huge amount here, and if they are improving, the differences are really, really minimal here in the Netherlands. And well, it's so minimal, in fact, that you're pretty much going out constantly and coming in constantly because there is no advantage to leaving it till the last moment, it would seem.
Yeah, everybody's going into the pits now, getting on a fresh set of tyres for their final runs in qualifying. I think Fleddy is on his fast lap. If he doesn't box this lap, then he will probably be taking the checkered flag at the end of this lap. Going through the second sector, I always am quite bad through this sector track. For Fleddy though, no problem for him going to the sector 2 split. How much of an improvement is it? It's not an improvement, it's a 10th down unfortunately for him. Clips the gravel a little bit on the apex of the second apex, and going into the final braking zone, he shifts down twice, opens the DRS into this banked corner. Will he be taking the flag? No, he won't. He'll be going into the pits and trying to get another lap squeezed in. But now we've got multiple drivers out on their outlaps. Rick Gambe still on provisional pole, and it looks like he could be taking pole here. But Byron, can Lifeboat try and push for that second place? What do you think?
Wow, I mean, it will be interesting to see, but I'm keeping an eye on the man who's in 14th at the moment. He's the first driver to begin the final flying run, TF10, Matthias, who's down in 14th place at the moment, but albeit 14th place is only 2.5 tenths off P1. So an improvement. He's in a massive leap up the order, but he's not improved in Sector 1, has given up on improving in Sector 1 at the moment. So clearly not making much of an improvement there, and giving up on that particular lap time for him. Noticing Namsco is the next driver to begin a flying lap here. And well, we're really getting these final flying laps underway. There's going to be a lot of sectors. Will it be green? Will it be yellow? Or will it be purple? Well, if your name is Namsco, it's a green Sector 1 for him. A real good Sector 1, showing a good sign of things to come, maybe improving by about half a tenth there, so could be moving himself up the order quite nicely here as we go through the final couple of moments in this qualifying session. And Namsco in 8th at the moment, but green sectors as he sets a yellow second sector, so not improving there, but that third sector is where it matters most. If you're able to get a good exit off the final corner, 10-14, and get that DRS open nicely, TTM Enzo has retired on track there, it would seem. So that does not seem intentional. Up to 5th there for Namsco. Looking at the sector times at the moment, Matthias apparently has had a huge Sector 1, improving by over a tenth of a second there. That is a real good Sector 1 if that's to be true and believed. Wingish in 15th as well, not having a bad lap time either. He's improving by about a tenth and a half. So as he comes up to the line, he could see himself move up this order quite considerably, as now there's going to be a lot of movement up and down this order. Wingish only manages 13th, but what can Matthias muster as Rick Gambe about to come up to the line? Can he set his benchmark even higher? No, he can't. He's not been able to improve. Matthias goes third for TF10, but what can Lifeboat muster? He goes top of the timesheets once more.
Yeah, there's still loads of other drivers out on their laps. Ghost King has just had a very unfortunate exit of that corner, so he might not be fighting for pole position here. Namsco already finished his lap. Fleddy as well here looks to be going very quick through this second sector, going into the second DRS straight of this circuit, going to the Sector 2 split. Is it an improvement? It is not, unfortunately. It's half a tenth down for him, but as you've said before, that last sector is where it really matters. Make sure he gets a good exit out of this corner, open the DRS through this banked corner of, I believe, turn 17. He goes across the line. Where can it go? Is it an improvement? It's not quite an improvement. It's P8. Urpek gets pole position as well. I must have missed that one, unfortunately. Lifeboat is invalidated, so that doesn't matter. That's Urpek in provisional pole. OVR low as well in second position as well for the Optimum Velocity Racing Team, I believe is what it's called. It's a very good lap for him, especially as OVR are currently down in 20th place. OVR can be dark horses in this race, like we saw with GT10 in the Mystery Grand Prix last week. But I'm pretty sure that is everyone
That
completed the lap.
is,
So
yeah.
that is your final qualifying order here. Urpec for the CPI team gets pole position. OVR Lolo in second place, followed by Lifeboat and Sergio Lee, both ET8 drivers in third and fourth. Rick Gambay in sixth. TF10 Mattis in sixth. In seventh is GT10 Ghost King, one of the dark horses of last week's race. And we're just going through this final ending cutscene here, so I'll tell you the rest of the order in just a second. Just wait for it to load. There you go. TTM Enzo in 8th position, Namsco in 9th, Fleddy in 10th, Exostia Oroka in 11th, TTM Mustache in 12th, Lafitti in 13th, Raphael BCR in 14th, Wingish in 15th, Lucas in 16th, 17th is Claudio, Devon Chauvet in 18th, 19th is Jerome. But it's crazy to see how close this grid is. Only 6/10 separate P19 and first position in this race, and still the ILD driver has not connected, so I don't think he will be racing today. So
No.
Byron, what do you make of this qualifying session?
I mean, chaos and carnage, I think, is an easy way to describe it. I mean, Urpek, out of nowhere, right at the death of the session, just blasted to the top of the timesheets. Quite insane from him. And then Lolo as well for OVR. ET8 looked set to take a really great pole position. And CPI looked like they were really in the mix with Rick Gambe. And then Urpec, out of nowhere, CPI didn't know what hit them because, well, one of their drivers took pole, but it wasn't the one they expected necessarily, I don't think. But, I mean, really interesting to see this order. I mean, Ghost King, once again, nice and up there towards the top. 7th for him. His teammate not really there, all the way down in 18th. And I think the same could be said for a couple teams. OVR had Lolo 2nd place, but Lucas 16th. It's really throwing some surprises here. Drivers not necessarily, corresponding with where their teammate is. You know, we say about how teammates should be evenly matched. There seems to be a little bit of a lack of it for some.
Yeah, OVR got second, and I believe the second driver got 17th, I think. So yeah, a big gap between both of them. Pole position, of course, was the CPI driver of. Trying to remember who it was. Help me out here, Byron, please.
Who are we after? Sorry?
Pole position.
Pole position was Airpack.
Urpec, yes. Urpec got first, and I think his teammate got 6th or something like that. So yeah, large gaps between teammates. But also pretty consistent for ET8 as well, 3rd and 4th. So yeah, it's just very excited to see how this race turns out. Very unexpected to see some drivers be where they are. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real standout result for some in terms of qualifying, but not necessarily for all involved. A couple might be interesting, not ideal for all involved, and for the seams of it, we're just sorting everything out at the moment, trying to get the lobby back up and running. We will be all running in a little moment. Once this lobby is all set and sorted, we'll be getting into the race. We've still got 19 cars. We will be missing one for the race. That is solely due to, unfortunately, ILD not being able to get one of their cars in the lobby in time, unfortunately there. But we've got a lot of things that are going to happen over the next well, probably 45 minutes or so. We are very well. A safety car would be relatively expected for a circuit like this, and it will be interesting to see if that does come a cropper, because it would be interesting if it does happen.
Yeah, of course. I mean, with the nature of this circuit, safety cars can be quite common, especially as it's basically similar to Monaco with high downforce and the walls being pretty close to each other and the track being pretty narrow as well. So, with the nature of this track, I am expecting a safety car or two, and I am expecting loads of incidents like we saw on the PC side just on Friday. So, yeah, quite excited for this one. I am putting my money on Lolo though. He has had a really good qualifying session. I reckon he can be the dark horse here and win this race.
Indeed. Well, really interesting to see. We're just waiting for the all clear. We're just waiting for the all clear to go racing for this race, but we've got a real good one on our hand. And in terms of the championship, as things stand, we've got 6 rounds in, and we've got 6 rounds to go. We've got Belgium, Qatar, Las Vegas, a mystery round, Hungary and Japan to round out this season all the way in November. In terms of the standings, ETA out in front at the moment with CPI, TTM, Team Exeter, TF10, Grand Track 10, IRT, Iberia Racing Team, and Avisio Racing, followed by Optimum Velocity Racing, currently last in the grid, but there's still so much time for things to change between now and the end of this season. It really is quite interesting to see everything that's going on. And we've got such a good race on our hands, such good talking points in terms of Urpec taking the pole position for the race. Really going to be interesting to see if he can convert that to a win. Maybe not the expected driver at the top of the table if you are a CPI fan, but certainly a welcome one at that. Dom is back with us after clearly no worries. Really interesting. We're just, as I said, waiting for that order to be set and for these drivers to be ready to go. It's really interesting to kind of see these drivers and how their qualifying performance translates to the race performance, because a lot of the time they don't necessarily add up.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I've used this example before. My qualifying pace can be really bad, and my race pace can be really good for me. So, just interested to see how these drivers really do. I mean, for Lolo, in his example, he's gone second place in qualifying. He might not have the best of race pace though. But yeah, we're still waiting for this grid to be set. It's taking longer than usual. So, hopefully everything's all right. Maybe they're trying to get that ILD driver finally in, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see until the 5 red lights drop over the Zandvoort track.
Indeed, we're just waiting for any news in terms of that. No one really seeming to be moving in the direction of readying up anytime soon. Really interesting that it's taking a little bit longer than usual. There does seem to be a bit of a conversation going on in the Discord at the moment. It is really interesting to kind of get the perspective of all of these drivers talking about their qualifying performance and how it's going for these drivers. A lot of these drivers not necessarily happy with their qualifying performance. A couple of them happy in the name of Urpec, but yeah. it is taking a little bit longer than usual.
Am I allowed to ask what's happening in the Discord, or because I'm just looking at it, and I'm really confused.
It is very interesting. I don't fully think I understand myself what the debate going on at the moment is. It does appear that maybe possibly a driver is not in the Discord, which would not work.
That makes sense.
But yeah, no, interesting to see the debates going on, and well, I'd like to get racing sometime today, if that
Yeah.
is at all possible, please. I personally would dearly love a race at some point within the next 2 years.
Yeah. But I mean, I think now can be a very good opportunity to take a look at the standings. So, Brian, if you don't mind putting the standings back on. We've got ET8 in first position with 216 points, followed by CPI with 172. 1 second.
Right, so let's have a brief, little interesting delve into those standings ever so briefly. It does seem like we are moving in the general direction of the race, sorry, getting underway in the couple of moments' time. But as Dom was mentioning, ETA out in front, followed by CPI, TTM, Team Exeter, Team TF10, Grand Track 10, esports, IRT there. And interestingly, a lot of the field on over 100 points. IRT, the first team, not in 100 points, 36 points adrift of Grand Track 10 with 66. Iberia Racing Team 43. And tied on points at the moment, Avizia Racing and Optimum Velocity Racing for the last place, P9 and P10 in the grid at the moment. But the grid has been sorted. We are ready to go. And well, in a couple of moments' time, we will have a race on our hands. I mean, Dom, final thoughts before we go into this race?
Yeah, first of all, apologies for that. Just had a little bit of a problem. But anyway, I'm not sure if Peg is still racing. He's still in the lobby, so I'd guess he is. So yeah, it's Erpek on pole position, so I am expecting him to really do well in this race. It was a small margin between the entire grid, so I think it will be a very close race today. All the drivers basically on the limit of what they can do. Just loads of drivers, really good quality here as well. I'm expecting ET8 to take another win though, as they have the past 3 races. But yeah, just very excited for this one. I think TF10 can really fight back. They didn't have the best of qualifying sessions, but I reckon they can definitely fight back.
Absolutely. Well, here we go then. It is time for Season 4, Round 6. It is the Zandvoort circuit located on turn 11 if you're feeling a little bit daring, but plenty of opportunities for a safety car here. But let's take you trackside now, because we are not that far away from action here. We are on a black screen, presumably not quite that close to the lobby being sorted. Actually, going to take us back to cams for a couple of seconds, just until the lobby fully finishes sorting itself out.
Yeah, I think it's just a glitch again. I think it's going to be another like 5 minutes until we actually get into any racing. Serge earlier has just left the station, so I think that's a good indicator that we should probably restart our games, which is what I'm going to do right now. But yeah, excited for this race once it finally comes, which I hope eventually it will. So yeah, who do you think will win? I've probably asked you this already, but who do you think will win this race?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. Not quite sure who I think is going to win this one. Well, you've got to say that Erpek got a good chance after a really good and solid qualifying result. But whether he is allowed to stay in in the lobby on what's going on is anyone's guess at the moment. It is really interesting. It's very confusing, and well, unable to start in the lobby. It does seem. So it seems like we're going to be needing to take a little bit more time away, and well, I think this might be a good time to take a bit of an intermission, and well. Let's go and cut to that intermission, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes' time, and hopefully we'll be just a little bit closer to getting some action underway in the Netherlands. Well, welcome back to Zandvoort, and well, it is season 4, round 6 of this 12-race season, and well, it is the halfway point, it is Zandvoort, it is the Netherlands, and it is beautiful, it is looking good as ever. Thank you as always to Gridfinder and Sim Racing Centre for partnering with us and helping us to bring you this awesome action, but here we are. It is the Zandvoort circuit in the Netherlands off the coast, and well, it has got 14 corners, 2.646 miles, and well, plenty of history. So many drivers and notable moments to talk about, but one that we are going to be making tonight is going to be that of Erpek, the man who will start on pole position, but plenty of overtaking opportunities. As we cut to the track, we're nearly there. We are nearly ready to race. And well, after plenty of time and deliberation up until this point, it is finally time to properly get this race underway. And I mean, we are going to have a real great race.
Yeah, it only took 20 minutes for these technical difficulties to really sort themselves out here. But yeah, very interesting to see this race. Erpek did get it on pole position as well, followed by an OVR driver, which was a very unexpected performance from him. Done really well to get up to the front row of the grid, but I'm just excited to see how this race really pans out.
Indeed, it's going to be a real great race once we get underway in a couple of moments' time. We aren't that far away from the action here in the Netherlands. Zandvoort, such a great circuit. ET8 lead the championship at the moment, but CPI have responded well. They've taken a pole position here, and not maybe with the driver they were expecting, but it will be great to see what they can offer in, well, throughout this race. But with the race not that far away, drivers putting on their setup and their strategies and getting it all sorted and ready to go, it is going to be only a matter of moments until we're getting underway with those 5 red lights here at the circuit Zandvoort. And, well, it is really going to be a race to remember. I have no doubt about that one. And, well, it might have taken a while to get to this point, but I'm sure come the checkered flag, it will have been all worth it. The time these drivers have spent in practice, the time we have spent as casters bringing you the action live, it is all coming down to this very moment as 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 red lights here in Zandvoort, and Erpek leads us away here off pole position with Lolo alongside, but a great start for Erpek here into turn number 1. No contest for that P1 spot as now lap 1 gets underway. We have got such a great race on our hands, but so much action and quite a few moving positions here as we get quite a few side-by-side moments into turn number 3, and that's a McLaren who's gone off there wide off turn 3, lost a lot of places. That was Enzo, but lap 1 underway nicely. Erpek out in front.
Yes, of course, Lolo also got a good start to maintain that second position where he qualified, in fact. But yeah, wide range of strategies here. If you can just take a look at the tyre compounds, loads on softs, even more on mediums, and 2 drivers on the hard compounded tyres. So we've got loads of diversity in the strategy choices today, so very excited to see which strategy will come out on top. Erpek still is in the lead of this race, followed by Lolo, Lifeboat, Sergioli, Rick Gambay, Mathis, Ghost King, Freddy, Lafitti, and Mustache as your top 10. Erpek does get fastest lap, that is the first lap, of course, and someone goes into the pit. The Aston Martin of Namsco goes into the pit lane. I think that could be front wing damage, but I'm not fully sure. Urpex still staying ahead, trying to increase that gap as much as possible. Lolo fighting and trying to get that position away from Urpex.
Well, and it is really going to be a interesting thing of action here. We've got a real good, interesting mix here, well, it's going to be really interesting. I'm noticing Rick Gambit currently in 5th place. Could be looking to try and make himself a move up in towards the top podium. He's got a real good chance of it. And it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to offer in this race. Well, you've got a lot of parts that will change throughout this race. And, Rick Gambit is certainly going to hope that he could be one of them and provide a real boost for his team's point haul. But we are on lap 3 of 36. There's a change in position as Enzo battles it out. There's yellow flag there. That's Namsco, and that's a virtual safety car. A little bit of a reset here and a little bit of an opportunity to recharge the battery as we have a little bit of a moment here to relax maybe on lap 3, but really an interesting one at the moment.
Yeah, Lolo did take the lead on lap 2, so going into lap 3 on that start-finish straight. Pretty much one of the only overtaking opportunities going into that first corner. So good move for Lolo. He will be in first place following this restart. Urpec just behind as well. Lifeboat and Sergioli also trying to fight back to get into the winning positions, of course. VSC is out after Namsco did retire. Not sure exactly how. Might have been a crash into a wall or something. Could even be an intentional retirement, which is a pretty big penalty in competitive speed series. But I'm guessing the VSC would be getting underway any second now. Is it even a VSC? I see on the map there is a yellow dot, which usually does indicate it is a full safety car, but maybe it's just a visual glitch. We do see some of the soft runners in the background go into the pit lane. The VSC should have been in by now, but I'm not really sure what's going on. The safety car is out on track apparently, so maybe it's not a virtual safety car. Maybe the game is lying to us once again.
It is indeed. It is a safety car, not a virtual safety car in this race, and it's not seeming to update on our timing tower, so ignore what it says there on the left-hand side of your screen. It is indeed a full safety car as things stand, but really interesting for the fact that as things stand, Lolo leading the way from Urpec. That's an interesting change for OVR, a team that currently sit last in the championship, and the fact they could, take a race winner as things stand.
Also, Byron, full track map, by the way, and also Lolo, yeah, ahead after the safety car. Yeah, that's your order so far. Sergioli, okay, that's just a bit of lobby desync, I think. But yeah, that's your order in front of you. Lolo first place, Urpec in second, Lifeboat in third, Sergioli in fourth position, Rick Gambay 03 in fifth place, Tietan Mathis in sixth, IRT Fleddy in sixth, Lefity in 8th, GT10 Ghost King, one of the better drivers of the Mystery Grand Prix, in 9th position, followed by both TTM drivers of Mustache and Enzo, then second IRT driver of Winglish.
Well, we've got a real interesting race at the moment. We are under safety car conditions. Ignore the virtual safety car sign on the left-hand side of your screen at the moment. We aren't expecting any rain during the course of this race. It does look like it will be sunny throughout this one, and probably that'll be music to the eyes of anyone who's looking to run long on their current compounder tyres, because those mediums and hards, they'll go the distance as things stand, with the fact that they are able just to run nice and long, because the pace and delta difference. But the safety car in this lap, as finally the tower on the left-hand side does update to reflect that we are under safety car conditions. And about to get us back underway is Lolo, probably not expecting to have to lead us away from a safety car restart going into it, but they will have to.
Yes, of course. Safety car is in this lap, as you have mentioned, and it's Lolo who will be pacing the drivers onto the lap 6, going nice and slow, trying to warm the tyres as much as possible. Lolo does get ahead now. Pretty good restart for Lolo, getting a good getaway. Definitely not going to be a debate on who will be first place coming out of turn 1. It looks pretty much the same going down the rest of the grid. No real moves apart from Moustache and Enzo switching positions. GT10 of driver of Devon Chauvet has moved up 2 positions.
Indeed. We are back under green flag conditions at the moment as we go through Sector 1. It's really interesting to see the difference in terms of tyre compounds that people are on at the moment. You should see Urpec and Lolo pull away a little bit from the ET8s behind of Lifebout and Sergioli at the moment as Lucas leaves the session. That does seem to be a bit of an issue that some drivers have been having, but Lucas all the way down in 14th at the moment. At least it's not his teammate, who currently leads the way on lap 6 of 36, and will continue to lead as we head on to lap 7, and DRS set to be enabled once we cross the timing line, and there we go. Urpec now will have DRS in his pursuit to overtake. As it turns out, my co-caster has left and will need to rejoin. It appears we've got a few issues going on in the commentary box at the moment, but Lolo currently out in front, followed by Urpec, Lifebout, Sergioli at the moment, and then Rick Gambe in 5th place at the moment. Matthias 6th, Fleddy in 7th, followed closely by Lafiti there, but so much in terms of opportunities for change in this race. That virtual safety car early on will spring out quite a bit of surprise. But as we wait for this field to begin to make a couple moves, we'll hopefully get Dom back into this lobby. Hopefully relatively soon, as Urpec takes himself to the top at the moment, and Lifebout gets himself into 3rd place, or 2nd place of the race, should I say. So Lolo down 2 positions there, and what was a comfortable lead is now 3rd place for Lolo, who falls to 3rd on lap 8 of 36. But as I said, so much time for things to change over the next 28 laps or so, that really does mean that it could be anyone's game, and OVR would dearly love to score a massive haul of points here. And the same could be said for CPI, who currently reside in 1st and 5th place in this race. But plenty of time for change as we now head onto the first DRS straight of lap number 8, and not really likely to make a move into this corner here. Turn number 10, the LDS as it is called, and you've got to be very ballsy to make a move into there. You've got to have a lot of overspeed, but as we head on to the pit lane straight once more, OVR Lolo might have to do a little bit more looking behind than in front, because the pace and speed not necessarily quite there, as Urpec and Lifebout into turn number 1 battling, and well, Lifebout thought about the overtake, couldn't make the overtake, but certainly thought about trying it, but very nearly on the overtake was Sergio Oli around the outside there of Lolo, who seems to be struggling a little bit in this race and in these current conditions, not working optimally as things stand, but it'll be interesting to see what happens as we do move on with the race and move on with everything is going on. But at the moment, got a real good thing as Rick Gambe is nearly out of the 1 second window as Fleddy loses quite a few places there, down to 8th place. And well, Rick Gambe just about getting the DRS on the top 4, but if not able to get back into that range, will certainly struggle to try and keep with that top 4. So will he get that DRS? Oh, there's a mistake there on the rear of turn 14, and that's not going to help in the advantage of trying to keep that DRS, and unfortunately has fallen outside of it now and is 1.4, and all down the inside goes TF10 Matthias, and Rick Gambe loses 2 places there in one corner, and 1.7 is now the disadvantage between TF10 Matthias and OVR Lolo, as now we will continue to battle in this race as Erpek is in second place from Lifebout, Sergio Oli and Lolo, as there's a yellow flag, and that is none other than EVE Jerome, who has gone around on the exit of turn number 3 and unfortunately has damaged the front wing in 2 parts on the right and left end plate, so he's going to be losing quite a bit of performance there. But back to the action as Matthias tries to close the gap and get within 1 second of OVR Lolo, and is very close to doing so, but just 2 tenths shy as we head through the activation point for lap number 10. But as we begin lap 11, we are getting towards the 3rd point in this race, and Erpek soars past Lifebout on that occasion and it comfortably into P1 as things stand, but it is only a matter of time until Lifebout has the advantage on those medium compound tyres as Lafiti and Rick Gambe battle there into turn number 4. Sensational stuff from the pair of them, as now Lafiti will get himself involved with GT10 Ghost King as they'll go nearly side by side there up the hill, and as they reach turn number 6, Rick Gambe currently leading ahead of Lafiti, but Ghost King really makes the move there, and oh, it's not looking good here for Lafiti, who loses multiple places and now tangling with Wingish here after tangling with both TTMs there as we move on through lap number 11, and Lafiti down a lot of places in that lap, gone from P7 or P8 all the way down to P12. That is not what you want to do in one lap of racing, but definitely a sign that those soft compound tyres are beginning to fade, and well, everyone in the grid really very close to the car, next car in front. I mean, so here we are at the moment. We are sitting comfortably in this race at the moment. We are on lap number 12 of 36. Lifebout and Sergio Oli lead in a 1-2-4 ETA at the moment, but Erpek in 3rd, Lolo for OVR, IRT Fleddy, Matthias in 6th for TF10, Rick Gambe for CPI in 7th, TTM Enzo, GT10 Ghost King and TTM Moustache, followed by Wingish, Lafiti, Raphael, Lucas and Devin Chavu. There rounding out the top 15 as things stand. We get a lovely helicopter cam shot, really showing Erpek as he really begins to struggle on these soft compound tyres after 11 laps. That safety car will have helped matters in terms of getting a couple extra laps, but they aren't going to be able to run too much longer into this race as well. Erpek has to begin thinking about looking behind more than in front as Rick Gambe moves himself in front of TF10, Matthias, and up into 6th place as things stand. And Rick Gambe doing everything that he needs to do to get himself up in this race and get himself an opportunity to get some more points for CPI. But as I said, ETA 1 and 2, Airpec wanting to try and change that, but those worn soft compound tyres aren't going to do too much at this moment in time because, it's really going to be really difficult to get much in terms of performance. But Lifebout overtaking his teammate and, swapping places strategically just to try and ensure that Airpec does not find himself ahead and in the middle of the two ETA8s as things stand in this race. But so much time for that to change, and as we move on to lap 14, we have a driver into the pit lane. IRT Fleddy as Sergio Oli does overtake his teammate. There's a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Lafiti, and that will certainly mean that we see the retirement of the EVE within the next couple of laps, most likely, just due to that time penalty and how much that hurt in terms of performance. It is looking awfully difficult for him at the moment, but it's not looking too difficult for the man out in front, Sergio Oli, working nicely with his teammate to try and get the most out of this race. And come the checkered flag, could it be ETA 1 and 2? Well, the way they're currently working together at the moment, it certainly could be, as we're expecting to see the rest of those soft compound tyres into the pit lane very shortly. And when we do, it is really going to help liven and spruce this race up just that little bit more. But Moustache ahead of Ghost King now, as Ghost King on the hard, struggling just a little bit. As Lolo, Matthias both come into the pit lane off their soft compound tyres. And where will they come out in relation to IRT, Fleddy and Lafiti? Well, it could be interesting to see where they do. And in fact, where will they come out? They will come out behind IRT, Fleddy. So the undercut working very nicely for Fleddy, who has got himself ahead of Lolo and Matthias through pitting that little bit earlier. But and in front, Peck will probably be into the pit lane within the next lap or two. But the pace is holding up very well for the Scarlet Red CPI at the moment. And he hopefully might be trying to hang on to this train just as long as he can to try and give himself the fresher tyres for the end of the race. It would be interesting to see if we get an alternate strategy from them. At the moment, though, it is looking very interesting to see that he is running very nicely in this race. As we're dropping a few frames, unfortunately, on the broadcast at the moment. Hopefully, that is not affecting your experience all too much. It doesn't seem to be the worst, but it doesn't seem like it's working all too well at the moment in terms of smoothness of the broadcast, but nothing to worry about too much. Hopefully it does sort itself out just that little bit in a moment. But as we move through the laps, Erpak doing a nice job at the moment in terms of where he is in the race, keeping on those soft compound tyres, doing a good job at the moment to keep a good distance between himself and those around, keeping good pace as well. Not losing much pace to those around the pace. Very representative from him. And his teammate behind certainly does provide a good opportunity. But a lock up there into turn number 10. The Audi S will certainly help write the nail on the coffin for the soft compound tyres. Surely we see him in this or next lap. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1, it's Jerome who's retired. It's a safety car. That plays into Erpek's hand perfectly, as he will undoubtedly come out in P3. He'll go onto the medium compound tyres. Those in front and around can't do that. This is an advantage time for Erpak, who halfway into this race gets the ideal swap and change of tyres as those on the medium compound tyres onto the hards. And that is not the ideal strategy for them, as unfortunately those who are on the medium compound tyres will gain a huge advantage in terms of their pace. And coming out of the pit lane, Urpek in third place on the optimal strategy now, following that safety car, following the EVE Jerome's retirement. He got wing damage earlier on in the race. Did that possibly play a part as Lafitte serves his time penalty and will, fortunately for him, clear the 10 seconds off of his name, but obviously will have to lose all of the places that he possibly was gaining in this race. But a real shake-up in this, as Sergio Olli will continue to lead the way once we get back under green flag running, and that is because he has been able to get into this race. And I've just caught word of why unfortunately, Dom is not going to be able to return with us for the rest of the stream. Unfortunately, he has had a bit of an internet problem and unfortunately will not be able to rejoin us. But that is not a problem at all, because we will persist onwards, but under green, under safety car conditions. And well, once we have this all underway, we are really going to be in a brilliant spot. So much action to the checkered flag of this race. And, well, it really will be quite something. But for the time being, just a little bit of time until we're going to get all of that action unfold on the racetrack. And, well, it is going to be quite the dramatic end to this race. And well, I am looking forward to it. Hopefully you're all looking forward to it at home as well. We have got a real great ending to this race on the way around the corner because, well, as I said, so much drama already having happened. And well, once that drama has finished ensuing, we are going to have a lot of talking points come the other end. And, well, as I sort out all of the graphics that I now need for just me, well, let's have a little look at where we sit at the moment because, well, safety car conditions, Sergio Olli leads, followed by Laufbau, Urpek, Fleddy, Lolo for OVR, Mustache, Matthias, Rick Gambe, TTM Enzo, Ghost King, Wingish, Raphael, Aroka, Devin Charu, Lafitte, Lucas, and Claudio. So we've got a lot to cover over the next 18 laps. We are approaching and about to cross half distance in this race, and once we have got a real blast to the line here in the Netherlands. But this is gonna be interesting to see, and well, a really interesting safety car coming out. Sergio Olli leads the way, in Urpek in a prime spot here, but he is going to get swallowed up here by IRT. Not swallowed up by IRT Fleddy. No, he's overtaking. There's been a crash at turn one. What has happened there? Urpek's lost places. So many drivers have lost places there. Lifebout has as well. Rick Gambe has come out quite bad for wear here as well. There's an issue there with Lolo as well. So much chaos and carnage here on the safety car restart. What has happened here in Zandvoort? We said that the overtaking opportunities were difficult. OVR were in a great place to score big, and they've gone broke here in, well, here in Zandvoort, as Sergio Olli continues to lead the way after making that mistake. TTM Mustache, then GT10 Ghost King, who's been a massive gainer from all of that, but he's got wing damage there to the right-hand end plate, so that is very unlucky for GT10 Ghost King. Enzo in fourth, Lifebout in fifth, Wingish, Fleddy in seventh, Urpek eighth, who's just got himself ahead of Raphael, and lucky not to have come out with wing damage there for Urpek, as he'll make an overtake there into turn 13. And, well, beautifully done there from Erpek. And there's another safety car. And, well, no surprise there, because absolute carnage has just ensued. And, well, what has happened there? I wonder if Erpek needs to change a front wing, because he's come into the pit lane. And, well, indeed, a front wing change needed for Erpek, who was really looking great in this race. Took pole position, and it's all going to come to nothing, unfortunately, as Rick Gambe really gets held up as there as well. He's got damage to both of his end plates. He'll come out really worse for wear here, but we're under another safety car. Lap 20 of 36, and, well, I agree with a message in chat. What was that? Sergio Ollie leads the way as things stand. TTM Mustache in second place. GT10 Ghost King in third. Lifebout fourth. Wingish fifth. Raphael sixth. Aroka in seventh. Devin Chavu in eighth. Lafiti ninth. IOD Claudio in 10th. Fleddy 11th. Enzo in 12th. Erpek 13th. A massive loser there. Matthias 14th. Lolo in 15th. Yet another massive loser out of all of that. Rick Gambe in 16th. OVR Lucas in 17th. And well, after 20 laps of action, 2 retirements of Jerome and Namsco there. But no retirement out of that incident. But carnage as we got back underway in Zandvoort, and that is really something, not what I expected to see at all. And well, no doubt the drivers are going to be asking some real questions about what has just ensued there. That was absolute carnage. And Nico has been tagged in the Discord, and simply the message, good luck. And I can only sympathize with that. Good luck indeed is going to be needed following that, because how do you even determine whose fault any of that was? It simply was just chaos, carnage, and confusion. And well, that has summed up this race quite brilliantly. To be fair, but lap 21 of 36, we got 16 laps to go in this race, and after a third safety car here in Zandvoort, just moments after we got back under green flag running, it is going to be a real interesting end to this race now, as plenty of drivers on the hard, well, plenty of drivers on the mediums, but a couple on that hard compound tyre. The safety car expected to be in this lap, but does it come in this lap, or does it wait until OVR Lucas has caught up to the rest of the field as we head through the Audi S through turn 11 once more? It does appear we're under safety car for yet another lap, so we will have 15 laps of action once we get back on the way next time around. IRT Fleddy, you must say, in a possibly a great spot here on a set of soft compound tyres right at the back of the field. He could be a massive gainer, get himself some good points, but be wary, those soft compound tyres will go off quite quickly, so no guarantee that he's going to be able to get a good position out of that one. But lap 22 under that safety car. Really interested to see your thoughts and feelings in the chat, and well, see what you thought of that incident. Who's at fault, do we think, chat? I mean, it is so hard to tell. So here we go then. Lap 22 of 36. 15 laps to go in this race, and the safety car is in at the end of this lap. Sergio Oli will lead us away here on this restart. And just keep an eye on the gap between the man currently in P1 and P2, because that gap will grow as you see the weaving there through turn number 11, and that weaving just to get that tyre temperature up. But going to be interesting to see the carnage as the safety car heads down the pit lane, and Sergio Oli will make his way down the pit straight, and he will lead us away as the safety car is now in. And well, ET8 lead the race at the moment, and when will Sergio Oli go? Well, he's leaving it as late as he can, but he has bolted here in Zandvoort, and we are back under green flag running here as, well, Oroka comes into the pit lane at the end of that. So really interesting from him to come into the pit lane right there and then as Enzo gets himself ahead of Claudio. But the man under pressure at the moment is Sergio Oli, who's under pressure from TTM Mustache. But Ghost King as well in a great place here on the set of medium tyres that won't be quite as worn at the moment versus tyres a little bit older. He'll get a real good helping out of those compound, and Aroka onto that set of soft compound tyres. Really interesting to see if he'll be able to make up that 22-second deficit that he has at the moment. But no DRS on this lap, and that is going to be music to the ears of Sergio Oli, who will not want to be pressured at all by TTM Mustache. But TTM Mustache is having to look behind because, well, look at GT10 Ghost King, who's really on the back of TTM McLaren at the moment. And, well, a move definitely could be on the cards for the GT10 at the moment, who really had a great showing here as as down the inside at the banking. That's an uncharacteristic place to make an overtake, but Ghost King has absolutely made it work and sent it, and well, got the reward for doing so, and well, now moves himself up into second place and will set his sights on Sergio Oli here. But we are on lap 24 of 36 at the moment, and with plenty of time left in this race for positions to change, Erpek will be doing his best to get some places up in this race. As you see a real train forming behind Claudio at the moment, and well, Erpek wanting to try and get himself into 10th place and get himself some more points out of this one. And well, you see OVR Lolo in the background there making a move on Matthias and Rick Gambe, who battle side by side, but Enzo, sorry, battling with Lafitte, which could invite Claudio to make the overtake here as down the inside into turn, wow, turn 10. That is a good overtake there from Claudio for ILD, and that is a brilliant move made. But Ghost King could be about to take the race lead here, as that gap is surely set to absolutely plummet. 2 temps, no temps. It is a battle for nothing as Sergio Oli loses the place there, falls to second. Lifebelt up to third ahead of TTM Mustache, and Devin Chavu makes himself up into 5th place as well. So a real strong showing at the moment from GT10, but just because that's that at the moment, as Erpek has collided here with Wingish, and there's another yellow flag there in Sector 1, and that was at turn 3 for those two, and that is just added insult to injury for what has been a terrible day for Erpek. The possibility of being disqualified has been lingering over him since the very start, and unfortunately for him, come the end, it is not going to translate to anything. But GT10 Ghost King, I'm noticing, has wing damage to his front wing. I'm not sure quite how that's happened. Must have been in the process of making an overtake or trying to defend his position, because unfortunately he has acquired a bit of wing damage on that front right hand side, and that is going to be a real hamper to his performance. Look at the way he backed off through turn 14, and now Sergio Oli will swamp him, as will Lifebout, into turn number 1, and well, nothing Ghost King can do. He tries to battle it here. Can he battle it side by side? He's kept P2 for the moment, but that damage is going to really be hampering GT10 Ghost King at the moment. But Mustache and Enzo doing a great job. P4 and P5, but surely they don't go side by side. They are going side by side. Oh my word. That is risky to do with your teammate. That is one way to cause drama, controversy, and all-round chaos. But look at the way Lifebout is really close to the back of TTM Moustache at the moment. It is looking very close between the pair of them at the moment. But 11 laps to go in this race. So much to happen between now and the checkered flags. I'm noticing Rick Gambe really close. Oh, there's contact between himself and ILD Claudio. He does manage to make the overtake, but hasn't got quite the overspeed as they go side by side through turn number 14. Wow, that is ballsy. Turn 13, turn 14, side by side. Both got DRS. Who gets the better of it down the straight? And, well, Rick Gambe certainly does, as OVR Lolo also makes the move, and lucky not to get damaged. Rick Gambe there, but now has to think about Lolo behind, who is really applying a little bit of pressure here, but so much action and movement up and down the order at the moment. But nonetheless, we are in for an absolute blitz to the end of this race, and well, come that checkered flag, it's going to be really interesting to see what we have on offer. Well, Lifebout at the moment is doing a really good job for ET8, trying to make this a 1-2, but he's having to look behind him here as Enzo is really applying some pressure here, but wanting to move forward. Lifebout is really trying, but not able to make the move there down the first DRS straight, but a second one on the way. But with Ghost King getting the advantage of DRS, it does make it a little bit more difficult for Lifebout to make that move and make it stick, but Ghost King will comfortably make himself ahead and into the lead as you see 3 wide down the straight into turn number 1. This doesn't end well, surely. It doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. They've made it work. How have they kept that clean? And wow, that is not something you see ever in league racing. 3 cars side by side into turn 3, nearly a car going round, but fortunately for the pair, for the trio, nothing happening that is absolutely disastrous, and they all get away unscathed. Erpek, fastest lap of the race, that's to be expected, but he is on the freshest tyres of the field. But we are lap 28, 9 to go in this race, and Ghost King got a bit of a breather for a while, but Sergio Oli will be really on him already, using that DRS that he will get thanks to being within that 1 second window. But Enzo also might be thinking about the move here as we head down the straight one more time in this race as well, Ghost King has got to think about that inside line, and well, Sergio Oli had to try and think about what he was going to do on the exit of the corner, as now Enzo goes side by side. Oh, and they battle side by side there as we head into turn number 3. And well, on the exit of there, beautifully held by the pair of them. And once again, the clean driving standards really on display from the top few drivers as they are battling so fair, but so hard here. And well, you couldn't ask for anything better here. And well, Ghost King is absolutely cooking with damage at the moment. He is just doing a sublime performance as Fleddy makes his way ahead of TF10 Raphael. But with damage, GT10 Ghost King really has been putting on quite the display, quite the performance here. But Sergio Oli surely will get himself ahead as we head down the main straight for one more time. And now we hit lap number 30. And well, will it be a move on lap 30? It is a 3 wide moment on lap 30. This one doesn't end quite as well as it did before. And there's contact between Sergio Oli and Devin Chavu. And Lolo and Rick Gambe have to concede a place and battle there, as Rick Gambe could be a gainer here, but he has to try and battle here. In fact, he's going to lose a place surely as Lolo battles here. And a Mercedes of IRT Fleddy on the soft compound tyre gets himself ahead. And wow, 3 wide did not go into turn 1 on that occasion. So once again, another moment and another disastrous moment for CPI, as yet again they have not had a race to remember. And well, Rick Gambe joins the club with his teammate in well, the not so good race club. And well, he will be struggling from here on in as Moustache goes really deep there into turn number 10. And well, the battle for this race lead is beginning to heat up. The red mist descending more and more amongst these top few drivers. And well, Sergio Oli will be trying to get himself back up to the top as TTM Enzo will go nicely down the inside. And well, Ghost King tries to battle with Lifebout and well, can't hold the position there on the entry, but will try and hold it as they go through turn number 3, but not able to fight back on that occasion. Will have to hang behind for now and hold that fire, but TTM Enzo, Lifebout, Ghost King, Moustache and Sergio Oli all in a real good chance here as they nearly go side by side. Does Lifebout and Ghost King into turn number 6, and that would have been absolutely scary if they had managed to muster that, but not able to on that occasion. And Rick Gambe with his penalty of 3 seconds. And what's happened here? It is Rick Gambe. It is Rick Gambe who falls to 13th. And OVR Lucas seems to have been involved in that incident as he catches up a big load of wheel spin on the exit there of, I believe that was turn number 8 there. He caught a massive load of wheel spin, and that has not helped him and his chances in conquest in this race to try and get some points and really consolidate what was looking like it would be a really good race for OVR. Has not panned out that way, but it could be good for GT10. But unfortunately, another place lost. If Ghost King is not able to hold this position on the exit, he tries to hold the position, but he's not able to. Falls to 4th, does GT10 Ghost King, as the mediums are beginning to wear off and that damage become a little bit more apparent. Ghost King is falling, and well, he is not having the most fun time of it at the moment, but who knows, it could come to him towards the end of this race. But Sergio Oli will not be fancying his chances there through that section, but does fancy his chances into turn number 8 and barges his way through on Ghost King, and Ghost King will not be happy with that at all. A man who has fought so cleanly and fairly with that man has been shown the door, and well, will not be happy at all with the driving standards on display from the man that now resides in front of him. But back to the battle for the lead, and well, Lifebout will be thinking about an overtake here on TTM Enzo. 7/10 the gap there as DRS opens nice and wide, but so much time to be gained down this straight. And as we head to the braking zone, you'll see that gap close. 3, 2, 1/10 of a second there, and oh wow, he spotted a gap there that I did not think he was going to go for, and he did not go for it, but he undoubtedly could have done. As Lifebout holds fire for now on TTM Enzo, maybe providing a bit of an opportunity for his teammate to try and make the move on TTM Moustache behind. It is a TTM 1 and 3 at the moment with ET8 2 and 4. It is a battle of the ages between these two teams, and seeing what they are able to offer will be very, very interesting. So keep an eye out for what they are able to produce here in competitive speed series. But as now we begin to get through to the final couple of laps, and well, we are going pretty interesting here, and well, it is really beginning to heat up here at the Netherlands, and well, it is scorching hot on the circuit, but it's scorching hot in the cockpit for plenty of these drivers as, well, Lifebout thinks about round the outside, not able to go round the outside as Ghost King gets himself ahead of IRT Fleddy in that battle there, as Sergio Oli gets himself ahead of TTM Moustache, who tries to muscle his way back past, but not able to there. The door firmly shut there and not able to make that overtake at all. But so close, the battle between the top 6 at the moment, and those who pit, Orca, for example, who pit onto the set of soft compound tyres after that safety car, it has not worked out for him at all, and currently CPI set for 0 points in this race. That could have massive championship ramifications for them in their championship challenge, but Enzo will certainly be very rejoiced at the result on display at the moment for him and his team, because, well, it could be a day to remember for them, but there are still a couple more laps to try and fight off the challenge from ETA as Lifebout goes down the inside once more. What can Sergio Olli do? He can't go down the inside, or can he? As he barges his teammate, he goes round both of them. A double overtake from Sergio Olli will see him up into P1 for the time being, but using his teammate as a stopping block to do so. Not going to help in terms of his relationship with his teammate. Using him as a brake marker is never a good idea, but he made it work on that occasion. But don't want to catch yourself doing that too often. But you see the red light flashing on the back of Sergio Olli. The battery is incredibly low on all of these cars at the moment. They are really burning the burners here towards the last couple of laps. We're on the penultimate lap of the race. Next time round, we'll be beginning that final lap of the race here in Zandvoort. And, well, what a race it has been. But what can these drivers do to really change up this order as we head on to what will be the final lap of action here in Zandvoort? But the final 2.6 miles is upon us. What can TTM Enzo do for himself? ETA have won so many races in a row. They have been the ultimate force, but down the inside goes TTM Moustache on an attempted overtake there on Lifebout as Enzo back up into P1 here on lap 36 off 36. He surely will be able to take the checkered flag from here with fresher tyres. With less laps on his tyres. Surely he will just about to be able to hang on to this position, but that does not mean nothing dramatic is going to happen between now and the checkered flag. We've got about mile and 300 meters to go, and a lock up there into turn 8 is not going to do Enzo much use here. We're on the final lap of action here, and Sergio Olli is really applying the pressure to the back here as now we head down the second DRS straight. The ring wing doesn't open, but he doesn't need to really apply the pressure too much here. But can he try and make the overtake here? ET8 would love the win, but the wheel spin on the exit of turn 11, it's not enough for ET8. Their win streak will be broken, and TTM Enzo, as they head to the line, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Who gets the win? Enzo, by 4 thousandths of a second, takes the win in Zandvoort, but undoubtedly to the stewards it will go for forcing another car into the wall as Lifebout rounds out the podium. Moustache in 4th, Ghost King in 5th for GT10, IRT Fleddy in 6th, Lolo for OVR in 7th, TF10 with Matthias ahead of Raphael and Claudio, rounding out that top 10 with Lucas, Lafiti, Wingish, Devin Chavu and Aroka, rounding out the top 15 here in Zandvoort. And your non-point scorers, Erpek and Rick Gambe, with Jerome and Namsco not finishing the race. But what a race we have just had in the Netherlands. And Enzo takes to the top step of the podium and ends ET8's win streak. Wow. Enzo undoubtedly is going to get a penalty there, but he will celebrate like it's a win. And, well, what a race of action we've had here in Zandvoort. It has really been quite something. Here is your final race classification as we head away from Zandvoort. We have had a real good race here, but after so much action, we can only have one winner, and that is TTM Enzo, who takes the checkered flag. But so much deliberation set to happen between now and next round, and well, no final race classification because the game decided so. So here is the calendar for the rest of the season. We have no racing next week, followed by Belgium, Qatar, Las Vegas, a mystery GP, Hungary, and Japan. And well, let's quickly have a bit of a debrief about what has just happened, because it is quite honestly absurd what has just ensued on the racetrack. It is so insane. We've had such a great race, but tainted by a little bit of drama, a little bit of controversy, and yeah, no. Definitely going to be a lot of penalties out the end of that one. Normally, we'd have a debrief now with our co-caster, who, Domsey, I wish he was here, but unfortunately, he was not able to last the race. His internet cut out halfway through, so very disappointing for him. But nonetheless, what a round of racing we have had. That was round 6 of the championship. 6 rounds to go, and well, a good race for the Papaya outfit, but it won't remain that way once the penalties are applied. Update the win streak for ET8 to 4, maybe, but we'll find out next time once we know all of the stewards' results and everything. But from myself and on behalf of Domsy and the entire competitive Speed Series team, thank you very much for watching and being part of the action that we have had over the course of this stream. I know it was a long one, but thank you very much for joining us. But until next time, when we head to Belgium for round number 7 of this championship, bye-bye.